we had a big battle with Kennedy, you know, when he wanted to make a national park out of the place. Big battle. And what he was doing seemed to me to be dead wrong. The people that were for it could get most anything they wanted. He'd change it for whatever they wanted. First thing we did, within 3 days, or when he did it, or 2 days, we got this petition signed all over the island by like 4,000 people inside of 3 days. And I delivered it to Edward Brooke, who was the other senator from Massachusetts. And we knew that if we could get Brooke to even partly be on our side, he could stop Kennedy from doing anything quick, because Kennedy wanted to do it right away. So I think Ron Rappaport was his lawyer, was working for him then. I delivered it down to Rappaport, Dr. Rappaport's house, to one of his kids, and I think it was Ron, but he had short hair, so I wouldn't. Anyway, I did that, and we worked on. We went up to see Brooke. We got to see him. One of the selectmen in Vineyard Haven knew him pretty good, so we got to go up to see Brooke, tell him our side of the story, and tell him what we would do, and we got to go see the president and found out what we needed to do to get him on our side. And he certainly didn't like Kennedy, but he wasn't going to just veto it without us doing something, which was reasonable enough. So we did it. And we worked like hell for 2 years, I guess. And we beat him. And the guys from Nantucket came up and they said, the selectmen came up, you can't beat Kennedy. Can't beat him. I used to write wicked letters to the paper. I'd wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and get up madder than hell and write letters and put them right in the paper, you know. A lot of them I put in from this IAC, as Island Action Committee. It's what they ought to have now to stop New Bedford. And Johnny Alley and Jimmy thought they had a ghostwriter to write all those letters. I wasn't a ghostwriter, it was me. But then, well, I got Kennedy pretty good one time. He came down here with a couple of senators, and they had a big hearing in the Vineyard Haven gym, school gym there. And my sister-in-law just gave me a book, showed how much national park area we had. There was like one for a square mile for every person in the United States, something like that. So I told Kennedy, already the government owns a square mile of national park for every person in the United States. And if you do this island, that'll just mean one more square yard for every person in the United States. He says, that was the truth, too. Anyway, Eggetown, or what they did, they were going to tell Eggetown they couldn't build within 50 feet of the road. So Eggetown got out of it. And Vineyard Haven, I think, no, Vineyard Haven, 2 or 3 of those towns. Vineyard Haven, I guess, got out of it. And anyway, they put in 1 million subdivisions, and then they got back in the commission afterwards, but it was too late for those towns. It really was, because they could, while they were out of it for the 2 years that they were out of it, they got an extra 2,000 or 3,000 house lots. That was the biggest thing that screwed this island up, I think.
I mean, do you think the commission has done all that it could do in terms of, I mean, what do you think of the commission nowadays?
I don't know, I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. I think they've done all they can do. And they did really good to start with. Except those towns, instead of Cora Madeira, she was a select man, wanted to get Vineyard Haven up. She called me up. I said, Cora, you're going to screw things up completely if you do that. You know, I tried like hell to talk her out of it. But they didn't. Yeah. I don't know what more they could do, actually. There might be some help with the Steamship Authority, I don't know. But actually, what they did, they had a moratorium on everything for a year or so, till they got the rules set up. And then if everybody had gone by the rules that were set up, I think things would have been pretty good. And like Chilmark's got a growth rate, like 10%. I don't know if you know it, but we have a growth rate. Somebody has a subdivision, 10 lots, they can only build on one per year. Well, naturally they're all going to be built on, but nobody can afford to subdivide. Because somebody that makes a development, at least that's the way it used to be, you get 20 house lots, you want to sell them quick, get your money, and pay off your debt. If you can only build one a year, or 1/10 a year, you can't make any money. So there's no subdivisions. Our biggest problem was subdivisions when we got the Mass Vineyard Commission. And they had the thing. Now, they couldn't tell people they had to have a 10% growth rate, like Eggetown or West Tisbury or any of them. But we had it, and it worked. But they never even started to do it, you know. That's their problem. We can't tell West Tisbury what to do. Nobody can tell anybody what to do. I mean, that's why the commission had trouble to start with, because nobody wanted anybody telling anybody what to do. At least the majority down there, I guess, you know. But when we started zoning up here, nobody wanted zoning. So I wrote a letter to the paper, and I told everybody was a fisherman. You know, we were scalping all the time. Chalkers Creek is a little narrow place where there's usually a lot of scallops. And between, well, anyway, it's up there, the other side of James Taylor's land. So I wrote a letter to the Gazette. I said to the Chilmarkers, I know we don't want zoning, but if we don't have zoning, you're going to look up from your boat when you're scalloping and culling scallops in Chalkers Creek, and you're not going to know anybody that's scalloping alongside of you. Well, don't you know they didn't vote zoning right away?
Language they could understand.
Yeah, it was. And it was the truth. I mean, if there was a house on every half acre up here,
Right.
it wouldn't be like it is now. Imagine.